This week on the Hooters Tour with Lee Moore and Kim Breel. Coming up this half hour, championship golf at Bull Creek Golf Club in Columbus, Georgia. Watch a young man rise to the top after much adversity and meet the Scramble Dog King, the Lieutenant. All coming up next, right here on This Week on the Hooters Tour.
Birdies, eagles, and now owls. You know, birds of a feather. Anyway, welcome to This Week on the Hooters Tour.
Hello everybody and welcome to Columbus, Georgia. It's our first stop ever for the Hooters Tour right here, and we're going to be playing our 72-hole $100,000 Hooters Classic at the Bull Creek Golf Course. And for the second week in a row, we're going to be playing at a very highly regarded municipal facility.
In fact, Lee, this course was ranked by Golf Digest magazine just a couple of years ago as one of the premier public golf course facilities in the country. The head pro here is a familiar name in golf, Hugh Royer.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Hugh Royer. Well, he's run Bull Creek for about 20 years here in Columbus, Georgia. It's the home of one of the largest Army bases in the world. We're talking about Fort Benning.
It's also the home of a famous lieutenant whom you'll meet later in the show. And it's the home of the former Masters champion, Larry Mize, who played a small part in this week's event.
Well, I just can't wait to meet all of those guys. It's going to be interesting. Now, the Hooters Tour, as you probably well know by now, is a developmental golf tour that prepares the world's finest young golfers for the PGA and Nike Tours. And speaking of the great players, let's go to the action now in the first and second rounds at Bull Creek.
Thursday at Columbus in the Hooters Classic, and Dickie Thompson will quickly establish himself as the man to beat for the week. There's a lot on the line this week, including a $15,000 first place check and an invitation to play in the Buick Southern Open later this summer. Now, Thompson plays in the morning pairings, and he'll turn in a 4-under par 32 on his first 9. And then, with birdies like this at the second hole, he'll finish the day at 65 or 7-under par. Jeff Cook's going to go out in the afternoon. He'll also get home with a 65, and both players feel they were able to score well by hitting greens and fairways, and they like the Bull Creek layout.
I played real solid, made just 7 birdies, didn't make a bogey, and just never got in trouble all day. Kept it in play and hit a couple really close shots and made a couple long putts, and overall just a very good day.
The course is in good shape. I didn't start out hitting it very well today, but I managed to make pars where I hit bad shots early, and had 7 pars starting out the round and birdied 8, 9, 10, and 11 right there at the turn, and got a little momentum going, and ended up making some more birdies on the back 9 and got it to 7 under. Played real happy. Putted real well. Hit some good shots on the back nine and made a lot of good putts today.
Cook and Thompson will also share the Naturally Fresh low round of the day check for $100. In the second day, we'll see Thompson assert himself as he'll cart a 6-under par 66, and he still hasn't made a bogey in 2 rounds of play. Dickey's going to find himself now at under par. Meanwhile, Mobile, Alabama native Jimmy Green flirts with the lead in his round briefly in the second day. His 65 is going to get him a $100 low round of the day check, and also it's going to put him at 11 under par. Naturally Fresh products will divvy $8,000 in low round awards throughout this season. The big prize, though, is going to be that $100,000 check at season's end to the points leader. Hooters Jordan players must comply with certain rules to be eligible for this, and so far, the battle has been close and should stay that way. After round 2, again, Jimmy Green stands at 11 under par, and Thompson has that 2-shot lead with a 131 total. The cut for this tournament is going to allow 78 players to make the final 2 rounds. That cut is set at +1 or 145. 42 players are going to post under par scores as we head toward the Saturday third round of play. That 78 to make the final 36 holes is the most in recent memory on the Hooters Jordan Tour. So our leader after 2 rounds is Dickey Thompson of Peachtree City, Georgia. Alone in second place is former Auburn All-American Jimmy Green of Mobile, Alabama, whose rounds of 68-65 put him at 11 under par. I might add that's a good position to buy his new baby boy a pair of shoes. Just a shot back are former Canadian Tour star Scott McCarron and a now healthy John Huff. First round co-leader Jeff Cook followed his opening round 65 with a 1 under 71. He'll move back now 5 shots off the lead at 8 under par. Another shot back is Ryan Howison, who also ran into second day problems going from a 66 to a 71. There are 2 at 6 under. Mike Schwartz of Phoenix and Todd Fisher of Pleasanton, California are those 2. Jack O'Keefe of Little Rock, Arkansas is parked alone at the number 9 spot with a 2-day total of 139 or 5 under par. 7 players are 9 shots off the lead. That group included Paul Claxton, winner of the first event of the year at Douglas, Georgia, and DeWitt Weaver III, whose dad makes his living on the senior tour. 78 players, the most in recent memory on this tour, will make the cut, which is set at 145. That's 1 over par. Included in that group of 78 are at least 2 players who have labored through several Hooters Tour events without ever making it to Saturday and Sunday's 3rd and 4th rounds. Carlos Ventura of Atlanta and South African John Dixon are the 2. Now, Dixon's going to open with a round of 78. He follows that with a marvelous 67, 11 shots better to make his first cut in 34 tries. Kim caught up with John.
Yeah, this is first tournament. I've been struggling for a long time and just been working hard, but nothing much has been happening. And just went out Friday and knew I had to shoot quite a good round, and just, yeah, a lot of good things happened.
When we come back, former Masters champion Larry Mize is going to join us for the Reebok Junior Clinic. Results of our Big Pro-Am will be coming your way, and you'll meet the man who has used golf to come a long way in life, and the lieutenant, who's not in the Army, but does have an army of followers.
Hi, I'm Lisa from the Atlanta Hooters. Stick around and we'll be right back.
Everybody's getting happy at Hooters.
And remember, tonight you're playing for Bud Light, ladies.
The boys are back in town.
These guys are good.
Who are you calling guys?
Yeah.
Looks like you're in the finals.
Ma'am, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You're the defending ladies pool champion?
Yes, I am.
At our Hooters Classic Monday qualifier, 10 players were added to the field. Now, the medalist was Brian Pemberton, while other area players included Ted Fisher and Tony Green. They were at 2 under par. In there at 71 was Archie Gonzalez, and Tyler Williams was even par. And exactly 5 players completed our list of 10 as they posted 1 over par 73s. In there was longtime former PGA Tour player Don Shirey.
Later that day, Larry Mize guest hosted our Reebok Junior Clinic. Larry was assisted by Hooters pro Charlie Whittington, who also makes his home in Columbus.
Now, for Larry, helping the youngsters with their golf game is a way of putting something back.
Well, you really try and keep it on, something that they can understand and keep it real simple, because I think that that's really the most important thing, to get them interested and get them out there playing. And, as time goes on, when they get a little older, they can get into, a little more intricate, a little more instruction. But right now, I think it's just keep it simple and get them interested and let them know it's a fun game and have a good time out there.
Wednesday, again, Pro-Am Day. And at Bull Creek, it features Hooters pro Bill Brown with amateurs John Calhoun, Carter Mize, Neil Hatcher, and Stokely Pound as our winners. Congratulations to that team.
Javier Sanchez came to the United States several years ago as a migrant laborer in California. And while working at a golf course, he picked up the game, and he's not put it down since. And just last summer, he made it all the way to the United States Open Championship at Baltusrol. Javier Sanchez had it made in Mexico, had it made by working hard on a farm. But in 1981, Sanchez came to the U.S. as an immigrant and got a job working at a golf course, a sport unfamiliar to Sanchez, a sport in 1981 that had no rhyme or reason.
Oh, I just, I was, watching these people out there playing golf, and I was wondering what they were doing because, like I said, I never seen a golf course or play golf, and I was very curious about it. It looks beautiful out there. The grass was nice and green, and then I found out that was golf, and I just went out on the driving range, and tried to hit some balls, and it was incredible that with a little club like that you can get the ball up in the air, and it was very interesting. And
very interesting on how he developed as well. In a little over 3 weeks, Javier was scoring in the 80s, and by the end of the summer, he had scores in the 70s. Javier is now 35 and playing as a professional in the United States, a country he loves, and a career choice that has given him the freedom he's always dreamed of. In fact, Javier has accomplished more than many who've played golf their entire life, like playing in the U.S. Open just a year ago.
Oh, it was just a great feeling. I mean, it's hard to explain how good this feels to be with the best players in the world, on the same locker room, and having your name on the locker room with the rest of the guys there was just very special. Talking to those guys, I kind of get cut up on my English, because I didn't want to really screw it up. But it was great, especially, seeing you at the airport, waiting for me. It was like, God, I know somebody here, So it was great. I mean, talking to Fassi Saller, he's so great. He's just, it was a great experience. I mean, I hope, that I get to do it again, before I die. But I know that I have a pretty good chance to do that.
In 1993, Sanchez finished 15th on the money list with a little over $18,000. That's not too bad, but this year he hopes to top that. He's had a lot of help along the way, none of which has ever been taken for granted.
And I was in the clubhouse, and Rick said, Javier, when are you going to get your own car? I said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not playing very good and I don't have any money, And the man just came up to me and says, here, Javier, I hope this will help you out, and wrote me a check for $3,000. And right there, man, my heart just dropped, man, to the ground. I mean, I start crying, and I tell him, I tell him how much I appreciate that, and I tell him that I'll pay him back, and he says, Javier, don't worry about it. He says, I hope this will help you out, and, good luck. And since then, I mean, I know Rick, from California, and he's a great man. I mean, I can say enough about him, it's a great man, and what he's doing out here for these players is, says for himself.
For Javi, it was just a matter of putting some natural athletic ability to good use. Meanwhile, in downtown Columbus, a man named Lieutenant, a bit of a hot dog himself, has become a local legend.
My mother used to bring me to Dinglewood Pharmacy, I'm 40 years old, and my mother would bring me to Dinglewood Pharmacy in a violet-colored Cadillac in 1956. And back then, Dinglewood had curb service.
Lieutenant Charles Stevens, born in Columbus, Georgia on November 12, 1931. His scramble dog career began at Dinglewood Pharmacy on June 4, 1945. He was just a freshman in high school.
I wouldn't have believed if they told me this 40 years ago. I wouldn't believe it. I just thought after high school I would graduate and probably go into service to do something, you know.
Lieutenant has worked with all 4 owners of Dinglewood, at all 3 locations now owned by Terry Hurley. Through the years, he has served 3 generations of local citizens, many celebrities, government officials, and visitors from foreign countries.
Well, my favorite, the one I tell all the time, is the one that I fixed chili for a wedding reception in Italy.
Imagine that. Chili scrambled dogs at a wedding reception. Former Mayor Harry Jackson declared a Lieutenant Stevens Day in Columbus on November 12, 1982, and former Governor Joe Frank Harris issued a state proclamation for Lieutenant on February 28, 1988. Lieutenant will be 63 this year, and he's still serving up about 500 dogs a day. Hot dogs and scrambled dogs combined. He would be hard-pressed to tally up a lifetime total of his hot dog specialty.
Well, I say, whatever McDonald's say they've done, I'm next to them. Exaggerating a little bit.
Javier and the Lieutenant, 2 guys who are living proof that you can do it with a smile and a lot of hard work.
When we come back, Dickie Thompson, who has battled a lot of adversity, will continue his torrid play at Bull Creek in the Hooters Classic.
Don't go away. There's still more to come.
So I said to Henny, of course chickens are more important to Hooters than owls.
Who?
Chickens, that's who.
I beg to differ.
Well, beg all you want. Without chickens, there'd be no chicken sandwiches or chicken salad. Or Hooters' famous chicken wings. There'd be no Hooters if it weren't for chicken.
It's really not wise to even argue the point.
That's because I'm right.
No, that's because you're not going to be around long anyway. Chicken.
Naturally fresh, simply delicious. Just wait and see. You'll taste the quality. Preservative free. We always have been, always will be. Naturally, it's simply delicious. Naturally fresh. It's a lifestyle.
Are you still drinking the old thing? Try the next thing, Powerade. With 33% more carbos than Gatorade and a taste you can really slam. Powerade, the next thing.
Now, starting play on Saturday, 7 players are within 7 shots or less of the leader, Dickie Thompson.
Going into round 3, Dickie Thompson had become the favorite with a 2-stroke lead over Jimmy Green and a game face focused to win. There were some big names that would keep Thompson thinking on this day, like Scott McCarron from Rancho Murrieta, California, and John Huff from Atlanta, both to -10 and 3 strokes off the lead. And of course, Jimmy Green from Mobile, Alabama, he started the day at -11. But Huff would quickly drop 2 strokes to -9 with a double bogey 6 on the second hole. Thompson, on the other hand, would pick up a stroke on the field with this birdie 3 on the par 4 second hole. And by the time our leaders had reached the 4th hole, Thompson had made it to 15 under, 2 under for the day. And Jimmy Green would double bogey number 4 to drop back into 3rd place. After rounds of 65 and 66, Dickie Thompson would play well enough to keep a 2-stroke lead over Scott McCarron going into the final round. Thompson would birdie number 11 to get back to -15, but he found ways to give strokes back as 71 was the best he could do on this day. So the leaderboard after 3 rounds has the Peachtree, Georgia boy, Dickie Thompson at the top. Scott McCarron is 2 back, followed by Ricky Smallridge, who fired a blistering 65 to go to 11 under for the tournament, 3 strokes back of Thompson. John Huff is alone at -10, with Mike Schwartz of Phoenix, Arizona, 9 under par. Some other names include Todd Fisher and Jeff Cook and Jimmy Green, all tied at -8. Then you have Brian Gorman and Ryan Howison at -7. Javier Sanchez, Scott Wheeler, and DeWitt Weaver III are in at -5, with Sean Haberstraw, Damon Green, and Rob McKelvey 10 strokes back of the leader, Thompson. Dickie Thompson will continue his outstanding ball striking on Sunday after slipping just a bit to 1 under 71 on Saturday. He'll put a considerable gap between himself and the remainder of the field on the final day. With a 3-stroke lead going into Sunday's final round, Peachtree City's Dickie Thompson had a lot on his mind. His #1 fan was in the gallery, and Dickie responded by stretching his lead to 4 strokes after this birdie at the #1 hole. Scott McCarron, playing steady, could not get the birdies to fall and played scorecard golf through 5 holes. Meanwhile, Huff and Smallridge were beating down the doors. Huff 1 stroke back at -10, with Smallridge tied for second at -11. By the time Thompson had finished #4, he was 2 under for the day and 16 under for the tournament. Those 2 birdies through 4 holes gave him a 5-stroke margin between he and John Huff, who birdied #5 to go 11 under, and Ricky Smallridge. Scott McCarron would pick up a stroke to par when he birdied #5 to go -12. Ricky Smallridge would birdie #13. He finishes -13 for the tournament, tied for second with Scott McCarron. Dickie Thompson finishes in style with birdies at 13 and 14. He'll finish -18 for the tournament, 5 strokes in front of our second-place finishers. So we'll take a look now at our final leaderboard. Of course, Dickie Thompson with a $15,000 first-place check. Smallridge and McCarron will split second. Jimmy Green is in at 4th with a 4-round total of -12. Some other names: Todd Fisher and John Huff, Brian Gorman and Mike Schwartz all on the leaderboard. Jeff Cook finished -9 with an opening round 65. There were 40 players scoring under par this week at Bull Creek Golf Club.
For Dickie, the win was, on the one hand, an end. On the other hand, though, it was a beginning. An end to his question of, can I win in great competition? And a beginning to his climb back to the PGA Tour. The victory itself means the $15,000 first-place check. And for the first time ever, a Hooters Tour champion is presented with an automatic exemption to a PGA Tour event. Dickie's going to represent the Hooters Tour later this fall in the Buick Southern Open. Ironically, that's right here in Columbus. A special thanks to Gumby Jordan. He's the longtime general chairman of the Buick Open.
Hi, I'm Betty Jo from Atlanta Hooters. Stick around. There's more golf when we return.
Scott McCarron shows us that being on the beach at the golf course can almost be like a day at the beach. That is, if you take your time and just don't panic. Scott?
Hi, I'm Scott McCarron of the Hooters Tour. Today I'm going to teach you how to hit out of a buried lie. Being in the bunker for most people is a scary situation. Being in a buried lie is even that much tougher. I'm going to show you how easy that really can be. One of the best ways to get out of a buried lie or a fried egg is to close the club face down. And when you're doing that, you really want to hit down on the ball and behind the ball about 2, 3, 4 inches. When you're hitting out of a buried lie, it doesn't matter how far you hit it behind the ball, but you really want to blast that ball out with the club face closed. There's a myth with buried lies with a lot of people will open the club face out and hit it like a normal bunker shot, nice and smooth. It's more of a descending blow, like banging on a hammer or chopping wood. You really want to get a lot of sand and have that ball just come out nice and high and soft. Treat the sand on the golf course like you would the sand on the beach. Don't get burnt, have some fun, and I'll see you at your local Hooters.
Thanks, Scott. Next time we'll remember to bring our umbrella and sunglasses. Now, we've all had the urge now and then to do something with a golf club following a poor shot. Jeff Harlow says be careful, you could be altering a club, and that's against the rules.
We're back again with this week's rules tip. What happens when a player, out of anger, bends or breaks his club and then uses it later in the round? Under Rules 4-2, which states in part that if the playing characteristics of a club are changed, other than in the normal course of play, the club thereafter shall not be used. The penalty under Rule 4 is disqualification. That's the rules. More or less. See you at Hooters.
Thanks, Jeff. Following the rules is just like Money in the Bank. Speaking of Money in the Bank, after 3 weeks, here's our top 10 on that Hooters Tour money list. Well, we first have Paul Claxton. He's a redhead out of Vidalia, Georgia. Just a couple of $100, though, over Dickie Thompson. Also right up there is Steve Thomas, and he's just a couple of bucks back. The rest of our top 10, as we take a look at those, Kim.
And in the chase for the Naturally Fresh $100,000 bonus to be presented to one player at season's end, Paul Claxton is just 1 point better than Andrew Morse. And in that tight race, it's obvious that at least 20 players will have a chance to move all the way to first in just one tournament.
Again, points are awarded here based on performance, whether it's participation, wins, cuts, etc. Before we leave here, Kim, I want to give a special thanks from our staff and all of us to Hugh Royer and his great people here at the Bull Creek Golf Course. Also to our friends at Hooters in Columbus for all their fine efforts. And thanks again to Larry Mize for helping us this week.
Don't forget, Lee, next week we'll be at Whitewater Creek in Atlanta.
Yeah, and I guess if the Hooters organization and those great Hooters girls, if they have a home, it is this Arnold Palmer Design facility.
We'll be here for our first $100,000 Hooters Classic, and then again in the fall for our Jordan Cup Match Play Championship. We'll see you next week, everybody.
So long now.
Check us out next week, same time, same channel, for more exciting golf. And maybe we'll throw in a chicken wing or two.
This week on the Hooters Tour is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. Naturally fresh foods, naturally fresh preservative-free salad dressings, sauces, and dips. And by Bud Light. Won't fill you up, never let you down.